Have you ever opened your freezer, looked at what's inside, and asked yourself, is this food keeping me healthy? Or is it slowly stealing my strength? That's the question we often forget to ask. The freezer is a place of convenience, a hidden helper in busy lives, but it can also be a trap if we don't know what to avoid and what to embrace. For seniors especially, the choices made at the freezer aisle can mean the difference between feeling tired and achy or waking up with the energy to walk, laugh, and live fully. Let's talk first about the frozen foods that should never be touched. The first is frozen processed meats. Things like sausages, hot dogs, or pre-seasoned meat patties. These are loaded with sodium, preservatives, and unhealthy fats. They might save time, but they raise blood pressure, burden the heart, and slowly rob the body of vitality. What feels like a quick fix today can become tomorrow's hospital visit. The second danger comes from frozen fried foods and snacks. Items like breaded chicken nuggets, onion rings, or frozen fries. They may taste comforting, but they are heavy with trans fats and empty calories. These foods inflame the body, stiffen the joints, and drain the very energy that seniors long to preserve. A plate of these may fill the stomach, but leaves the body more tired than before. The third item to avoid is sugary frozen desserts, ice creams, pies, and sweet pastries. Sugar in these forms weakens memory, ages the skin, and feeds the cycle of fatigue. For seniors already battling to maintain mental sharpness and stable energy, these treats become quiet enemies of health. And fourth, the hidden culprit, frozen pizzas. They may look harmless, even fun, but they are among the most heavily processed frozen foods in the aisle. High in sodium, sugar-laden sauces, processed cheese, and poor quality flour, these pizzas put tremendous stress on the digestive system and heart. What looks like a simple meal actually takes away more from the body than it gives. But the freezer is not only a place of harm, it can also be a place of healing if we know what to reach for. The first must-have is frozen vegetables. Studies confirm that frozen vegetables, when quickly packed after harvest, hold on to vitamins and minerals almost as well as fresh. A bag of frozen spinach or broccoli can fight inflammation, strengthen the immune system, and help seniors feel lighter and more energetic. The second is frozen fish, particularly salmon, mackerel, or sardines. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, these strengthen the heart, protect the brain, and even ease stiff joints. A single serving a few times a week can act like nature's medicine. The third daily essential is frozen fruits. Whether it's blueberries, cherries, or mango chunks, these are packed with antioxidants that guard memory, brighten mood, and bring sweetness without the dangers of added sugar. Adding them to a morning oatmeal or smoothie can create a ripple of health that lasts all day. And finally, frozen whole grains, things like quinoa, brown rice, or oats that are frozen for convenience. These provide fiber, steady energy, and digestive support. Unlike processed frozen meals, they fuel the body in a clean, lasting way. The truth is simple: the freezer is not the enemy, it is a tool. Like a library filled with both wisdom and noise, we must choose the right books to read, just as we must choose the right foods to eat. The Bible speaks of wisdom as choosing the path that leads to life. In the same way, choosing wisely in the freezer aisle leads to strength, energy, and the joy of living well, even in later years. So the question returns to you next time you open that freezer: will you pull out what weakens you or what strengthens you? The choice is small, but the result is enormous. Seniors who choose wisely can walk with energy, think with clarity, and feel as though they've added years to their life. The freezer can either be a thief or a healer. The decision lies in your hands. The silent dangers hiding inside many frozen foods are often overlooked because the packaging looks so harmless. We see bright labels, smiling faces on boxes, and words like quick, easy, or family favorite, and we think, how bad can it really be? But what many seniors don't realize is that the very convenience that makes these foods appealing is the same thing that strips them of their safety. The freezing process itself is not the problem. In fact, freezing can preserve natural nutrients when done right. The real issue lies in what is being frozen. Manufacturers take cheap ingredients, load them with salt, sugar, unhealthy oils, and preservatives, then lock them away in frosty packaging to sit for months, sometimes years. When we bring those boxes home and heat them up, it feels like a simple solution to a hungry moment, but beneath the surface is a quiet erosion of health. Think of it this way: food is meant to be fuel, alive with energy that supports the body. But frozen processed meals are often more chemical than food, more imitation than nourishment. The body of a senior, already working harder to stay strong and maintain balance, cannot afford to be burdened with additives that inflame joints, cloud the mind, and weaken the heart. It's like giving a tired engine dirty fuel. It doesn't just slow down, it begins to break down. What looks like a harmless frozen dinner can be the very thing that steals energy the next day or raises blood pressure without warning. And this danger is subtle. Unlike a sharp pain or an obvious symptom, the effects of these frozen products creep in slowly. A little stiffness in the morning, a little forgetfulness, a little fatigue that seems normal with age. But what if it's not age? What if it's the steady drip of low-quality frozen foods, chipping away at strength one meal at a time? That's the silent danger. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And by the time we notice, the damage may already be done. The second danger comes from frozen fried foods and snacks, and this is where many seniors are caught off guard. Nuggets, fries, onion rings, breaded fish sticks. These foods feel comforting, almost nostalgic, because they remind us of simple family meals or quick bites we once enjoyed. But what hides beneath that golden, crispy surface is far from comforting. When foods are fried, especially before being frozen, they are soaked in oils that often turn into unhealthy fats once reheated. These fats don't nourish the body. They clog, stiffen, and inflame it. For seniors whose hearts, joints, and digestion are already more sensitive, these hidden dangers become even more damaging. Imagine sitting down to a plate of frozen fries. They're quick, they're cheap, and they seem harmless. But inside every bite is a cocktail of trans fats and sodium that begins to burden the arteries, raise cholesterol, and spark inflammation in the body. Over time, these foods act like sand in the gears of a clock, slowing, grinding, and wearing down the body's natural rhythm. What might feel like a guilty pleasure once a week can slowly turn into daily stiffness, swollen ankles, or energy that fades long before the day is done. The tricky part is that frozen fried snacks don't satisfy for long. They are high in calories but low in nourishment, meaning the body keeps asking for more. Even when the stomach is technically full, it's like filling a glass with foam instead of water. It looks full, but it doesn't quench thirst. Seniors who eat these foods often find themselves trapped in a cycle of eating without ever truly fueling their bodies. And with each cycle, the risks grow: higher blood pressure, unstable blood sugar, and joints that feel heavier with every step. The real question is, are these foods worth the trade? A few minutes of taste for hours, even years of health lost. It's not about never enjoying a treat again. It's about recognizing that frozen fried foods are not treats at all, but tricks in disguise. They pretend to give comfort, but they quietly take comfort away. Seniors deserve food that gives them freedom, not food that chains them to pills, doctors, and fatigue. The third item that should never be touched is sugary frozen desserts, and this one is especially dangerous because it comes dressed as joy. Ice cream, frozen pies, cakes, and pastries. These are foods that don't just tempt the taste buds, they stir emotions. They remind us of birthdays, family gatherings, celebrations, or simple evenings when a sweet treat seemed like comfort in a bowl. That is why they are so difficult to resist. But here is the truth. These frozen desserts are not harmless indulgences. They are slow poisons that rob the body of energy, drain the mind of clarity, and accelerate the aging process in ways many seniors never see coming. Sugar in these forms doesn't just add empty calories, it sets off a chain reaction in the body. When a senior eats a bowl of ice cream at night, the sugar spikes the blood, forcing insulin to work overtime. For a moment, there may be a burst of happiness or comfort, but soon after, the body crashes. The energy disappears, the mind feels foggy, and the body begins craving more sugar to fill the void. This cycle leaves seniors weaker, not stronger, and it is repeated every time a frozen sweet is pulled from the freezer. Over weeks and months, these spikes and crashes damage blood vessels, burden the heart, and fog the brain. What feels like harmless pleasure becomes a silent thief of memory, focus, and vitality. And here's the part many don't realize: as sugar is addictive. The body starts to look for it the way a thirsty person looks for water. That's why many seniors find themselves needing dessert after dinner. But this need isn't hunger, it's the body trapped in a chemical loop created by sugar itself. The problem only grows worse with frozen desserts, because these are often loaded with not just sugar, but syrups, artificial flavors, and chemical stabilizers that make them even more destructive. These additives sneak into the bloodstream, weaken the immune system, and inflame tissues in ways that can lead to aching joints and poor sleep. Now think about what that means for the senior years. These are years meant to be enjoyed, filled with laughter, movement, and moments of clarity. But too much sugar slowly chips away at those very gifts. The memory that once recalled stories so vividly becomes dull. The energy once used for walks, gardening, or playing with grandchildren fades more quickly. Even the skin shows the marks, aging faster under the strain of constant sugar consumption. A frozen cake might look like sweetness, but it is in fact stealing the sweetness of life itself. Yet here's the hopeful truth. When seniors replace frozen sugary desserts with healthier choices, the changes can be dramatic. Frozen fruits, blueberries, cherries, mangoes, can satisfy the craving for sweetness while feeding the brain and body with antioxidants and vitamins. A bowl of frozen fruit not only refreshes but heals, nourishing cells instead of exhausting them. The difference is like night and day. One path leads to decline, the other to renewed strength. So the next time the freezer door opens and the hand reaches for that carton of ice cream or frozen pie, ask this question: is this really a gift to my body, or is it a thief in disguise? Because the truth is, frozen sugary desserts promise comfort, but they leave behind chains of fatigue, fog, and decline. And seniors deserve better. They deserve energy, clarity, and the sweetness of health, not the false sweetness of sugar. The fourth hidden culprit is frozen pizza, and it may be one of the most deceptive foods in the freezer aisle. At first glance, it looks harmless, even fun. The colorful box, the promise of a quick meal, the familiar taste that reminds many of family movie nights or casual gatherings, it all feels safe, even comforting. But frozen pizza is not just a slice of convenience. It is a trap filled with ingredients that slowly wear down the body, especially for seniors. Let's break it down. The crust, which looks simple enough, is often made from refined white flour stripped of nutrients. Instead of giving steady energy, it spikes blood sugar, leaving seniors feeling heavy, sluggish, or sleepy shortly after eating. Then there is the sauce, loaded not just with tomatoes, but with added sugar, excessive salt, and chemical preservatives to help it last months in the freezer. What should have been a healthy base turns into something that overworks the heart and adds hidden calories. And then we come to the cheese. Many frozen pizzas don't use real fresh cheese, they use processed cheese substitutes, filled with extra sodium and artificial ingredients designed to melt and stretch. It may look appealing when it comes out of the oven, but beneath that golden layer is a mix of chemicals and unhealthy fats that burden the arteries and cloud the body with inflammation. Add to this the toppings, processed meats like pepperoni or sausage, which carry high levels of nitrates and preservatives, and you have a combination that quietly assaults the heart, raises blood pressure, and feeds inflammation in the joints. Now, imagine what happens when seniors eat this meal regularly. The salt content alone in one frozen pizza can exceed the daily limit recommended for older adults. That much sodium pulls water into the body, raising blood pressure, straining the kidneys, and forcing the heart to work harder than it should. Over time, this doesn't just create discomfort, it sets the stage for serious conditions like stroke, heart disease, or kidney problems. What looks like a quick fix dinner can in reality be a slow march toward health decline. The most dangerous part of frozen pizza is not just the ingredients, but the illusion it creates. It feels like a complete meal, bread, sauce, cheese, protein, but it is an imitation, a shadow of real food. It fills the stomach but leaves the body malnourished, craving true nourishment that never arrives. Seniors who rely on frozen pizza may feel satisfied in the moment, but they are feeding weakness, not strength. And here lies the deeper truth: food should restore life, not drain it. A home-baked pizza made with whole grain crust, fresh vegetables, and real cheese can be healthy and enjoyable. But the frozen version is a shortcut that robs the body, trading vitality for convenience. Seniors deserve food that fuels long walks, bright conversations, and sharp memory, not food that leaves them tired, swollen, and dependent on medication to undo its harm. So the next time a frozen pizza calls from the freezer, remember this: it's not offering comfort, it's offering compromise. It is selling convenience at the cost of health. For seniors who wish to walk strong, think clearly, and live fully, frozen pizza is not a friend. It is a thief dressed in melted cheese. The first must-have is frozen vegetables, and this is where the freezer turns from being a silent enemy into a powerful ally. Many people still believe that fresh is always better, but science has shown us something surprising. Vegetables that are frozen right after harvest often lock in more vitamins and minerals than fresh produce that has traveled for days, even weeks, before reaching our tables. For seniors whose bodies crave every ounce of nourishment to maintain strength, balance, and clarity, frozen vegetables can be like little bags of life waiting in the freezer. Think of a simple bag of frozen spinach. It looks plain, almost boring, sitting behind brighter packages of pizzas or desserts. But inside that bag is a treasure chest of iron, vitamin K, fiber, and antioxidants, nutrients that keep the blood strong, the bones sturdy, and the immune system alert. Or take frozen broccoli, rich in vitamin C and compounds that fight inflammation. A cup of broccoli on the dinner plate can do more for joint comfort and heart health than any pill on the pharmacy shelf. And the best part? These vegetables are always ready, always waiting, needing only a few minutes of heat to deliver their power. For seniors, this is more than convenience. It is a way to protect against some of the greatest challenges of aging. Frozen vegetables support digestion, easing the strain of constipation that often comes with age. They help regulate blood pressure through natural potassium, balancing out the harm of hidden sodium in less healthy foods. They strengthen the immune system, guarding against the infections that can take hold more easily in later years. Every serving is a defense line against fatigue, weakness, and decline. But beyond the science lies something even more important: the sense of empowerment they give. A senior who keeps a freezer stocked with vegetables is not at the mercy of a last-minute unhealthy choice. They don't need to depend on fast food or highly processed frozen dinners. They have the ability, with a quick handful of frozen peas or carrots, to build a meal that fuels the body instead of weakening it. It is a small act of independence that builds confidence, dignity, and health all at once. And let's not overlook the joy these foods can bring. A handful of frozen corn added to a soup, or green beans tossed in a pan with a touch of garlic and olive oil, can turn an ordinary meal into something vibrant and satisfying. Eating vegetables is not punishment, it is a daily gift, a way to say to the body, I want you strong, I want you alive, I want you to thrive. So, while the freezer holds dangers, it also holds life. Frozen vegetables are proof that not everything in a box or bag is harmful. They remind us that with the right choices, even the simplest foods can carry the power to heal, energize, and restore. For seniors who want to keep walking, keep remembering, keep laughing, frozen vegetables are not just food. They are medicine disguised as dinner. The second must-have is frozen fish, and for seniors, this food can be a quiet miracle. In many homes, fish is eaten less often than it should be, mostly because fresh fish spoils quickly and can be expensive. But when fish is frozen right after it's caught, its nutrients are sealed in, ready to nourish the body whenever it's needed. This makes frozen fish one of the most powerful yet overlooked allies for seniors who want to protect their hearts, strengthen their minds, and keep their bodies moving with ease. What makes frozen fish so extraordinary is its wealth of omega-3 fatty acids. These are the healthy fats that doctors and nutrition experts have been praising for years, and for good reason. Omega-3s reduce inflammation in the body, easing the stiffness in joints and calming the hidden fires that make walking or climbing stairs painful. They also keep the blood flowing smoothly, lowering the risk of clots and protecting against heart disease, the very issues that become more dangerous with age. A piece of frozen salmon or mackerel isn't just dinner, it's protection for the arteries and relief for aching joints. But the benefits don't stop there. The brain is one of the greatest treasures seniors want to guard, and fish is among the best foods for memory, focus, and mood. Omega-3s support the cells of the brain, keeping them flexible and strong, which in turn supports sharper thinking and better recall. Many seniors fear memory loss, but few realize how much the right foods can slow that decline. Frozen fish eaten regularly is like oil for the gears of the mind, keeping them turning smoothly year after year. And let's not forget the bones. As the body ages, bones naturally lose density, becoming more fragile. Calcium and vitamin D are important, yes, but fish also plays a role in building resilience. The nutrients in fish support bone health, making them less likely to fracture or weaken. For seniors who wish to keep their independence, to walk, to bend, to lift without fear, fish is not a luxury, it is a necessity. The beauty of frozen fish is that it removes the barriers that often stop people from eating it. There is no rush to cook it before it spoils, no fear of it going bad in the fridge. A fillet of salmon, a bag of sardines, or even frozen tuna steaks can wait patiently in the freezer until the body needs them. In just a few minutes, they can be cooked into a nourishing meal that strengthens instead of weakens. This is why frozen fish should not just be an occasional meal. It should be a regular habit. A few servings a week can transform the way seniors feel, giving them energy to move, clarity to think, and resilience to live fully. The freezer that once held harmful foods like pizzas and fried snacks can now hold treasures that truly extend life. So the next time you open the freezer, imagine this: one side filled with boxes of processed foods that drain health, and the other with fillets of fish that protect, heal, and restore. The choice may seem small, but over time, it can mean the difference between living with strength and freedom or living with decline and limitation. Frozen fish is more than food. It is a safeguard, a shield, and a promise of better days ahead. The third daily essential is frozen fruits, and this is where health meets joy. Unlike frozen fried foods or sugary desserts that drain the body, frozen fruits bring sweetness that heals instead of harms. For seniors, they are one of the easiest and most delightful ways to nourish the body, protect the mind, and even lift the spirit. Open a bag of frozen blueberries, cherries, or mango chunks, and you are holding nature's candy. Sweet, refreshing, and bursting with life-giving power. What makes frozen fruits so remarkable is their concentration of antioxidants. These are the body's defenders, the tiny warriors that fight back against free radicals, the unstable molecules that cause damage to cells, speed up aging, and weaken memory. Seniors who eat frozen berries or cherries regularly are not just enjoying dessert, they are fortifying their bodies against the silent wear and tear of time. Antioxidants in blueberries, for example, are well known for supporting brain health, helping seniors stay sharp and focused. Cherries contain compounds that calm inflammation, easing pain in joints. Mangoes deliver vitamin C, which strengthens immunity and brings energy that makes every day feel lighter. And the beauty of frozen fruits is that they are picked at the peak of ripeness, frozen immediately, and preserved without the need for sugar or additives. Unlike many packaged desserts, they are pure food. Nothing more, nothing less. That means seniors can enjoy sweetness without the guilt, the crash, or the hidden dangers that come with processed sweets. It is pleasure and health wrapped together, and it feels like a gift every time the freezer door opens. For seniors, frozen fruits also solve another problem: access. Fresh fruit can spoil quickly, especially in hot climates or when shopping is less frequent. But frozen fruit is always waiting, ready to be blended into a smoothie, sprinkled over oatmeal, or enjoyed as a cool snack on a warm afternoon. This reliability makes it easy to keep a steady supply of nutrients flowing into the body without waste or worry. The impact on daily life can be profound. A senior who swaps ice cream for a bowl of frozen blueberries may find that their energy is steadier, their mood brighter, their memory clearer. Frozen fruits don't just satisfy the tongue, they lift the whole body. They feed the cells, support the heart, and brighten the skin, often making a person look and feel younger than their years. Each serving is like a daily dose of natural medicine, wrapped in the joy of sweetness. And there is something deeply symbolic about choosing frozen fruit. It is a way of saying, I want my sweetness in life to also be my strength. Instead of reaching for sugar that steals, seniors reach for nature's sweetness that gives. Over time, this one choice can shape the body's future: fewer aches, more energy, sharper focus, and a happier spirit. So the next time a craving for something sweet rises up, let the freezer be the answer. But let it be answered with frozen fruit, not frozen cake. For seniors who wish to savor every year with vitality and joy, frozen fruits are not just a smart choice, they are a daily must, a key to health wrapped in delicious simplicity. The fourth daily essential is frozen whole grains, and this may surprise some people because grains are often overlooked in conversations about health. Yet for seniors, they are among the most important foods to keep energy steady, digestion smooth, and the body feeling balanced. When we talk about whole grains, like quinoa, brown rice, barley, or oats, we are talking about foods that release their energy slowly, nourishing the body in a way that doesn't overwhelm or crash. And when these grains are prepared and frozen, they become both practical and powerful, ready at a moment's notice to fuel a healthier life. What makes frozen whole grains so valuable is the fiber they provide. Fiber acts like a broom inside the digestive system, sweeping away waste, keeping bowels regular, and supporting a healthy gut. For seniors, this is no small gift. Digestive troubles are common as the years go by, and constipation or irregularity can bring not only discomfort, but also fatigue and even mood changes. A simple serving of frozen brown rice or barley added to a meal can transform digestion and restore a sense of lightness and energy. But fiber is only one piece of the story. Whole grains also help regulate blood sugar, preventing the dangerous spikes and crashes caused by refined foods like white bread or pasta. For seniors, who may already be watching their blood sugar or managing conditions like diabetes, this stability is critical. A bowl of quinoa or oats provides steady fuel, keeping energy levels balanced throughout the day. It's the difference between feeling alert and strong until evening or feeling drained and sluggish by mid-afternoon. Whole grains also bring important nutrients that many seniors lack: magnesium, B vitamins, and even plant-based protein. Magnesium supports muscle and nerve function, helping prevent cramps and weakness. B vitamins are essential for brain health and memory, keeping the mind sharp. Protein, though less than in meat or fish, still contributes to maintaining strength and preserving muscle, something that becomes harder with age. Every spoonful of whole grains adds to the body's defense system. Layer by layer, the convenience of frozen whole grains cannot be underestimated. Cooking grains from scratch can take time, sometimes 30 minutes or more, something many seniors don't always feel like doing. But frozen versions, pre-cooked and portioned, make it easy to have a nourishing base for meals in just minutes. No excuses, no long waits. Just quick, wholesome food that supports the body instead of burdening it. Imagine a freezer stocked with bags of frozen quinoa, ready to pair with vegetables, fish, or even a handful of frozen fruits for a warm breakfast bowl. In less time than it takes to heat up a frozen pizza, a senior can have a meal that strengthens instead of weakens. And beyond the body, there is the sense of independence this brings. Seniors who know they can prepare a balanced meal with frozen grains and vegetables are less dependent on takeout, less tempted by processed foods, and more confident in their ability to care for themselves. This independence matters. It preserves dignity, self-respect, and the freedom to live life on their own terms. So frozen whole grains are not just about nutrition, they are about empowerment. They represent the choice to feed the body with steady strength instead of fleeting satisfaction. They are the quiet foundation beneath a vibrant life, giving seniors the stamina to walk farther, the clarity to think sharper, and the balance to enjoy each day with greater ease. The ninth and final takeaway is this: the freezer is not your enemy, but it is not automatically your friend either. It is a tool, and like any tool, it depends on how you use it. For seniors, this is a life-shaping truth. The same freezer that can store harmful processed meats, fried snacks, sugary desserts, and salty pizzas can also store vegetables that heal, fish that protect, fruits that energize, and grains that strengthen. One side of the freezer can take years from your life, the other side can give them back. The choice rests in your hands every single time you open that door. Think about it this way: food is not just about filling the stomach, it is about fueling the future. Every bite is either a step toward vitality or a step toward decline. The decisions made in the quiet moments, like what meal to thaw for dinner, may feel small, but over months and years, they add up to determine whether a senior spends their days in energy or exhaustion, clarity or confusion, freedom or dependence. This is why the freezer matters. It quietly shapes the quality of life more than most people realize. The power of choosing wisely is deeply personal. Imagine a senior who removes frozen pizza and fried snacks from their freezer and replaces them with salmon fillets, broccoli, blueberries, and brown rice. Day by day, meal by meal, the transformation begins. Their blood pressure lowers, their joints ache less, their memory feels sharper, and their mornings start with more energy. These changes don't come overnight, but they come steadily, like a river carving stone. The freezer that once drained their life becomes the very thing that restores it. And here lies the beautiful part: it is never too late to make this change. No matter how many years have passed, no matter how many poor choices have been made, the freezer can become a place of renewal starting today. Just as a library can hold both wisdom and nonsense, so can the freezer hold both harm and healing. The question is, what will you choose to fill it with? The wisdom of great books often reminds us that life and health are shaped not by one grand moment, but by small, consistent decisions. The foods we place in our freezer are those small decisions. They are the silent partners that either lift us or weigh us down. For seniors especially, each choice becomes an investment in strength, clarity, and joy. So as we close, ask yourself this: the next time you pull something from your freezer, will it steal from your health, or will it give you life? Will it drag you closer to fatigue and decline, or will it push you toward energy and freedom? The freezer does not decide. That power belongs to you. And when you choose wisely, when you stock it with foods that heal, you are not just eating well. You are writing a better ending to your own story.